So synesthesia and autism. Do you see days of the week as colour? All this and more is coming up. Hey guys, welcome back to the Ask Me World. My name is Dan. I have autism, ADHD, OCD and dyslexia, and I make weekly videos all about this kind of stuff. So if you're new around here and you'd like to learn more, remember to hit that subscribe button by clicking the notification bell down below. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to follow this page, and if you're watching on Instagram, make sure to follow this account for more autism awesome content. Boom guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Ask Me World, the place where we think differently daily. What's going on, my different thinker fam? Guys, what is going on? If you haven't already, make sure to download my free Autism Life Hacks PDF book at autismhacks.net. So today I'm discussing synesthesia and autism. Now synesthesia is something that I came across whilst, two things happened actually. The first time I came across synesthesia was when I was researching Kanye West. The first time I came across synesthesia, I was researching Kanye West because he did an article where he was talking about synesthesia. Then the next time I heard about synesthesia, I was actually listening to a guy called Jeff Evans, who's quite a famous autism speaker, and I went to an autism support group that I'm part of locally, and Jeff was speaking at this group, which is absolutely fantastic, and he was talking about synesthesia. Now, synesthesia, I'll break it down for you and tell you exactly what it is, but it was quite interesting when I first found out about it, because then I was like, oh, that's why I do this, or that's why I do that. So synesthesia basically is a neurological condition that can be diagnosed with autism, but also can just be diagnosed on its own, where you hear sound, but you see colour. So, for instance, when I was listening to Jeff talk about the people he knew with synesthesia, he said that he knew a young guy that when the door slammed, then rather than hearing the door slamming, a guy would see a blue flash of light, which is fascinating, and it really, really intrigued me. So then this kind of got me thinking, well, if people see colour when they're hearing sound, what kind of opportunities does it open up? That's why I was so intrigued when I heard about Kanye West and him actually having being a musician and being a music producer. So if he's seeing colour, sound as colour, then he's obviously painting a picture when he's producing music, which is absolutely a fascinating concept, and it really does kind of stretch the realms of the amazing neurodiverse kind of culture we have, and all the things and the amazing things that people with neurodiversity can do. So then I thought about myself and my own experiences, right? And so when I was little, I used to always relate to everything as colours, right? So basically, if I was thinking about the days of the week or the months in the year, I would think about them as colours. Now, to me, it's always been that way, and I thought everybody felt like that about things, and it's almost like it's a feeling and a colour relationship. So when I hear like Monday or Tuesday, it feels a certain way that attracts a certain colour, and the only way I can explain this to somebody from an outside point of view is that you think about warm and cold, right, or hot and cold. They're feeling, but they also have a colour attached to it. You know, that colour is kind of blue and hot is kind of red, right? So it's a similar kind of relationship I have with days of the week and the months in the year, which is really interesting. So it's like I visually see them as colour. It's really weird. It's such a bizarre thing to try and explain, but it's definitely something that occurs. Now, having synesthesia isn't a bad thing. It's just something that's really interesting. Now, the reason it's comorbid, which means basically co-occurring and or diagnosed with autism, is because autism is a communication issue, and it really impacts the senses. So we have something called sensory processing disorder, which is comorbid occurring with autism, and kind of pretty much everybody I know on the autism spectrum has a sensory issue. And so it kind of, if you think about it from that perspective, when you're having sensory data input from outside, be it like smells or noises or sounds, then you have this a different way of digesting that type of decoding that type of sense, and then relaying that to information in your brain. But if you're hearing certain things, like certain words or certain phrases, or hearing certain noises, and those noises then become colourful, or they have a certain colour pattern set to them, then this is definitely the way that the brain is communicating that information to make it relatable to you as an autistic person, right? It's just a fascinating concept. Now, I know that there are lots of people who definitely have synesthesia and autism, but there are actually a bunch of people who have synesthesia without any autism, which is just absolutely fascinating. So in terms of, does synesthesia impact your daily life? Well, it's going to be very, very minimal, because synesthesia, again, is just seeing colors when you're hearing certain words or when you're hearing certain sounds. Or if you just hear sounds in general and you're just seeing loads of flashes of color. It could cause disruption if you're driving a car and you know, you might have a flash of blue light if you hear like a horn going or something like that. And in terms of that, then yeah, okay, maybe synesthesia does have some kind of potential impact. But I find it so fascinating that the extent that someone can go to, they could paint you a picture with sound or vice versa, paint a picture from sound, which is basically just a bizarre, amazing trait. Now, I am not blessed with the fact that when I hear noise, I see sound. That's not what happens. I do kind of, when I hear noises, I feel a certain way that allows me to write music, because I'm a musician. I'm in a band called Straight Jacket Legends, and we have like a CD out in Japan and America. And, you know, we create music. As you can see, I'm the bass player in the band. But when I'm creating music, I'm thinking about patterns, and I'm thinking about the ways that I can fit this together to make a nice, kind of like a well smoothed out pattern. And when I listen to music, I can feel where music should have something in the middle there, or something changed, and this is why I'm able to produce music also. So it's kind of like, I can understand that synesthesia would be like almost painting a picture, and you're seeing this picture come to life. Now, another kind of unusual side note on synesthesia is there's an autistic savant called Daniel. I can't remember his last name, but he's from the UK, and he's a famous mathematician because he can speak like various languages. He's on the spectrum as well, so he's got a diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome, and he's also a savant, so he has savant syndrome. But he sees numbers as kind of like squishy kind of orbs, kind of like jelly bean things with different colors and patterns on them, and then he puts them together and they fit inside each other, and that's how he does mathematics, because his brain doesn't cognitively function mathematically, it just knows. It's almost like he's just pulling the data in from somewhere else, like he just knows that it's what the mathematical kind of problem solution is. So like in his respect, I think like it's kind of like synesthesia, where he's seeing objects as certain things. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, please pop it in a comment down below. I'd love to have that conversation, and I read every comment. But in terms of Daniel's kind of, there was a documentary on it. Now, if you have seen it, definitely, it was amazing. And please comment down below if you've seen this documentary about him. He learned like Icelandic in like 7 days or something, because he learns languages very quickly. Fascinating guy, super interesting. Now, guys, if you think this video was interesting and insightful, please share it on your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.